The council meeting, if you could all please stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. Let us begin. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Councilperson Zarita. Galvan. Present. McCoy. Here. Sharif.
Here.
Mayor Brown.
Here. Thank you, Madam Clerk. We will now proceed forward to public comments on agenda items and non-agenda items. Mr. Rodney Andrews.
I just want to say I beat you, Robert Ray. I just want to say I beat you, Robert. Really quick, I want to thank the Sheriff Department. They're bomb. I want to thank the Public Works Department. I love speaking to that department every time I call about dumping through the city of Compton. They help me out. Major shouts out to my councilperson, Councilwoman Jana Zarita. She's the bomb. We're going to have our third Harvest Festival in District 1. That's where we help the homeless people throughout our city. I presented earlier before the council meeting started, Councilwoman Tana McCoy a certificate and Councilwoman Jana Zarita a certificate from Congresswoman Nanette Diaz-Barrigan, thanking them for the clothes and the shoes they donated to make our event a huge success. I want to echo, the Sheriff Department is bomb. I remember being here as a child and talking to Mayor Omar Bradley at the time about the police department. Mayor, I apologize too. Last time I can't hear you. I support the seniors and what their struggles are, and you'll hear about that later. But I just want to say the Sheriff Department is bomb.com, and I'm glad the city have the Sheriff Department. Maybe you guys can work in the water bill. Maybe you guys can't. I don't know. But I just want to say I love Public Works, the Sheriff Department, and Robert Ray. I beat you, man.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Valera Dudley.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It's good to be back today. I've had a mental stroke, so I'm a little slower than I used to be. But some things I can understand, and I will come out and ask about them. I don't intend to have to come back anymore because I've talked to person that's in charge, and he's going to help me. And I've talked to the lady that's in charge of my area, and she's going to help me. The other thing I want to comment on that very disappointing is I don't expect any of you to have medical knowledge. I don't expect you to have that. But I know what customer service is about. In the building permits department for the city, they were very rude today when they sent that gentleman out with my contractor. And we've been waiting for weeks for him to come out. And then we paid some monies, and then we paid some more monies. And then I just left home. And at 4:45, he wasn't there again. He told me he would come back between 2 and 4. and he did not show up between that time. It was warm outside, and I stayed outside. I sat on my porch and waited for him so he wouldn't say I wasn't there, or my husband, who's my caregiver, wasn't there. He insisted that my husband said, come on in the house. I said, no, we've got to do, and listen at this. I remember this. You got to do what the city of Compton wants you to do, else you won't get no help. Even though when they're wrong, you're still not going to get any help. So please, when we ask for help, or we're paying what you asked us to pay, at least give us do what you say you're going to do. Now, I don't know the young, well, he's not a young man, but he's an employee for the city. He didn't show back up. Didn't have any paperwork at all to know what was to be done. Now, we have spent quite a few $1,000s on getting the things done inside the house, all new windows, and we've done everything they've asked us to do. But like one person said, and I won't forget it, I'll say it this way, and I'm not offended. He said to them, if she was in her right mind, you wouldn't be walking around here acting like you don't know what she's talking about, because she knows who to contact. And guess what? They don't know. I still know who to contact. I got some people who's helping me, and I went right to who I needed to contact. Thank you, Captain Rambo. No, it's City Manager Rambo. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rambo, yes.
Mr. City Manager, could you ask Victor to speak with this lady to see what her issues are? Because she has an inspection scheduled and they didn't show up. Okay.
Yeah, when you get a second, Victor. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd like to report back on that one too. You spoke to it earlier. Thank you. Ms. Marjorie Shipp.
Good evening, Mayor Brown, City Manager Rambo, and the entire council. Welcome back. I hope all of you had a restful vacation and ready to come back to work. I want to discuss something that happened on July the 25th. There was a resolution to enter an agreement with Greenberg's law firm to enforce the City of Compton's marijuana ban. The public voiced their concern. Most of the public were against that resolution because they felt that the city attorney and the sheriff department were capable of taking care of that task. The discussion then went to the council for debate or discussion. As this important discussion took place, two councilpersons walked off the dais. I thought to myself, this is not a good time to have an emergency, but I know we all have them sometime and we have to leave the dais. But the debate went on and the discussion went on for a good 15, 20 minutes, and those two people never returned for the discussion or to vote. For some reason, I don't know why, but that hit me to the core, to my core, and I was a public figure for 12 years. I served on the Compton Unified School District Board of Trustees, and I do understand that sometimes we have difficult decisions we have to vote on, and it's not always easy. But to leave the dais on such an important discussion was a disservice to our community, in my opinion. As public figures, we have to take the bitter with the sweets. You vote either yes, no, or you abstain. It's best to take a stand on something than to walk up the dais and do nothing. So, as I said, I don't know why that hit me to my core, but I thought it was a disservice because to me that was a very important discussion. Thank you for listening and have a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Shipp. Ms. Joanne Evans. Ms. Joanne Pearsall Evans, excuse me. Good evening.
My name is Joanne Pearsall Evans, and this is Music and Drama. I reside in the city of Compton. And something came to me while I was on vacation back east in Connecticut. I got a call and stating that the instructors at Dollar Heights Senior Citizen had to pay insurance. And I feel that we shouldn't have to pay insurance because we're in a building that's supposed to be insured. And it has the vocal, it has our singing, it has language, it has the piano, which Dr. J played the piano. No one's getting hurt there. There are people, now that you want the instructors to pay insurance, there's people that come in there with already something wrong with them and said they got hurt at Dollar High, just in my class or anybody's class. And I don't even see where this makes sense when they've been covering the insurance for Dollar High Senior Citizen. I call Linwood, Willowbrook, Downey, Paramount, Inglewood. None of the instructors have to pay personal insurance like if one of my people get hurt. I believe all of us over 50, we all have insurance. So I don't really understand why we have to pay insurance. It had to come out of my pocket to pay for Mary Lou or Susie Lou. The next thing is they designated some of the classes they did not. From my understanding, they got this under the way last year. If they were that gung-ho about this, why they didn't meet with the instructors about this so we could say yay and nay? My check is held up because I didn't sign this. It's like I'm under siege. If you don't sign it, you can't get your check. If you do sign it and you don't get the insurance, you can't teach your class anymore. And the choir, they won't have no more instructor. So, I mean, what is it? Do you want the classrooms? Do you want us gone? What is it? And then why do we have to pay? I don't understand. Each instructor have to pay for liability for their students. I don't understand that. So maybe somebody could go back to the drawing board. Maybe somebody's getting some feathers in their caps about this or getting a bonus, but I think this is wrong. And Mr. Rambo, we'll talk about the other situation later. Okay. But that's what I want to say. We love Dollar High. I don't know. We're the voters. I know the children are tomorrow, but we're the one put you all in office. And why would you just kick us to the curb like that? I don't understand it. You know, just don't say, here's a piece of paper, you have to sign this. You're not explaining nothing to me. It's going down the chain. Nobody's explaining anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Joanne. This is the first some of us, I'm sure, have heard about this, but we'll get some more information. Mr. Rambo, are you apprised of this new insurance requirement?
I didn't believe it was a new policy. There's, I think the last couple of years they have not had to pay for the insurance to indemnify themselves. It's about $100 a year per instructor. So the cost isn't oppressive, but it's something that if the body wants to consider waiving that fee or paying that fee, they can certainly do that. But it's just the liability insurance that people pay when they instruct or do things in the facilities.
If you can just bring us back with some recommendations on how to proceed forward, because I think best practices is kind of on par with other cities, and if other cities absorb or if their employees or what have you, let's just make sure that we're consistent. And I do understand the need for insurance, but if there's a way for us to be consistent and where it's not a big financial burden on especially some of the seniors that are on fixed income, we don't want the seniors that are on fixed income to be deterred from giving back to the community. So if we can work on that and bring that back to us. Thank you, sir. Ms. Rosa Wayne.
I'm Rosa Wayne, a member of the Dollar Hyde Center. I was in the organizing of the music and drama class. And when I heard that they wanted us to pay something that we never had to do, I was furious. So that's why I'm here today, to support the Senator and Joanne, that we should not have to pay what you're requesting. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to the music and drama team that came out to support. Miss Adrienne Cleveland. Mr. Rambo.
Good evening. My name is Adrienne Cleveland, and I'm the Chief Steward for Compton Unified School District, as well as an Executive Board Member for SEIU Local 99. I'm coming here to formally apologize to Ms. Zarita for the people that were parading in purple, stating that they were union members. They were not. We do not support the lies that they went into the community and deceived the people in District 1 regarding having the potholes fixed. We are appalled by the fact that people would take such an issue that we find so strong in Compton. Potholes are serious issues. Our water bills are a serious issue. The taxes that we pay in Compton are a very serious issue. So for someone to come and parade as a union member and lie and deceive the citizens of Compton, I don't appreciate that, especially when we're about to embark on another election for school board, and I'll have people dressed in purple representing our union out there. You're presenting a danger to the people that are going to be knocking on doors asking for assistance to support us in our fight to make a better unified school district. Again, I want to apologize and let it be known that SEIU Local 99 did not have anything to do with the deceiving of the citizens of Compton. We will be out there in force to support our candidates for school board, and I do not want anyone to think that we had anything to do with this. The people that were out there dressed in purple deceiving the citizens of Compton were not from SEIU Local 99, and we apologize for anything that may have came from people that thought they were receiving the right information, because they were deceived. And those people were just like the predators that call our senior citizens and get them to come out and fix houses, overcharge them, predators that prey on our kids and everything else. We cannot, I'm just upset about that. It was not SEIU Local 99, and we support Zarita. Thank you.
Mr. Adam Wayne. Oh, I thought that was him. Bishop L.J. Guillory.
Madam Mayor, City Council, stakeholders. You know, I look at Compton as it is today. Many of us that were born and raised here in Compton, or those who came and made Compton their home, we all have the same rights per the federal government and the city. I think that as an adult, we have a responsibility to make sure that there is something left when we're no longer in the city. For those kids, I've seen a young lady who had a sachet that says Young Teen Compton on there. I remember those days when we had pride in the city of Compton. A lot of people come up here and they throw rocks when it's election time, they assault, they insult, and you would think that after the election, we could go back to normal. I'm concerned that some people don't know what normal is. It's one thing to tell a truth, and it's another thing to tell a lie. It's one thing to love something, and it's another thing to just want something. I'm not talking about those elected officials and those persons who are put in charge to be the steward of the city of Compton. I'm talking about us, the stakeholders, that come up here and are supposed to be sincere. Let me say this, and I mean it as harsh as they come out. If the people of Compton wanted you to be elected, you would be elected. In your mind, sometimes you think that you are elected when you come up and you make assaults on the persons that are elected. But just know that God, somebody that we all pray to, somebody that we trust in, he's watching. And you can pretend and you can do all the things that you want to do, but at the end of the day, God knows your heart. He knows your dirty deeds. He knows the things that you've done. And when you're dead and when you're gone, most people will still remember who you were and what you did. I can look at God when I die and say, I did the best that I could do. I hope that each and every one of us will be able to do the same. One of the things I think is just deplorable is that we'll get in front of cameras week after week and lie. And then we say that we represent the community. Every time the community vote, they're talking. So whether you deceive them or whether you deceive yourself, you're not up there because they don't believe in you.
Mr. Holyfield.
Good evening to the mayor, city council, staff, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
I have three things to really talk about. One, we have a mural outside with the former president. We'd like to name Willowbrook. We're going to advocate to name Willowbrook after the former president, Obama. The mural's there. In Long Beach on Atlantic, they have a library named after his wife with a garden, a farmer-type garden. So I thought that Compton would do something that would be lasting. And the next thing, I'm very disappointed in the light on Greenleaf in Wilmington. I'm very disappointed about that. I am happy. I'm going to let my city council person know it, the city manager to know it. It took 4,000 signatures to do to Harding Compton Boulevard, like 4,000 signatures. If that's what we must do over there, then fine. But I do want to thank the city manager for having that corner straightened out. It's been repainted. They put guard rails in case of accidents. The cars will not run into the shopping center anymore, and between the tree and the sign. That's what happened the last time. I was looking for it to see it on the agenda. It wasn't there. I am very disappointed about that. And the next thing I like to say, because we keep hearing this, we're working on it with this and that, and some of those parts, by the way, was even at the yard for the light. I'm talking in terms of somebody sitting up there who was on the school board. We want to protect our youth there, crossing every day. We want to protect the citizens. I am very disappointed in that, and we've been working on it too long and too hard to hear about nothing and to see nothing. And the next thing I'd like to say is our youth, the best program in this city. I've been here over 55 years as an entrepreneur. There's a program in this city that's second to none. It's called the YL Center, a very successful boxing event for this past weekend. Council Lady Emma Cherie, thank you so much for me seeing you there. I want to say this here. We had boxing back in the old day at the YMCA, a very important program, boxing in Compton, very successful. And that program is the best program, to my knowledge, in this city for our youth at this time. And it needs total support from our leadership and those who are advocating certain things. We know who you are by your actions. Same way with me. If you ain't doing nothing. And then another thing before I close, the seniors do not need to do any of this boogalooing, period. Thank you. I'm only 38, you see. They don't need no more of it.
Thank you, Mr. Holyfield. Mr. John Hale. I saw Mr. Hale. Would you like to speak, sir?
This is my first time here. I have
Oh,
nothing to say.
okay.
I've been in Compton since the 50s. And
Sir, do you mind just coming up to the microphone so that we could hear you? If you don't mind, we'd like to hear you. Thank you, Mr. Hill.
Yeah, I didn't know that by signing my name on there that I would be coming up to speak. But I'm a resident of Compton since '56, and I have no qualms. I've seen the growth of neighbors changing. I moved from Arbutus Central and Arbutus to Stoneacre, and you know the change that was made there. I was the third black on the street, but I know Compton in a whole lot of places has made that change. But I love Compton, and I'm just I just love Compton.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. God bless you. That's all right. Miss Shanice McKinley. Oh, would you like to speak? Yes. Right on time.
Sorry, you guys, for being a little late. I had to go pick up my son. But I definitely wanted to take the time to address Mayor and Council for all the support you guys gave coming out to the pageant. We just truly appreciate it. All the girls just enjoy seeing you guys there, supporting. So I just wanted to take the time to thank you guys for coming out. We really do appreciate it.
Hi everyone, I'm Brooklyn Pearson. I'm Miss Teen Compton. My mission is to build confidence and value in the city of Compton, as in I want to help the young kids, the youth, in growing better, because now I don't think it is a very good look, and the ones that are coming, I want to help them bring a good look. So thank you.
Thank you.
And Miss Compton, she's currently going to Cal State Long Beach, so she's currently in class right now, but she would be here to also tell you guys thank you. And me and my husband, some of you guys don't know, but on the day of the pageant, we got news that my aunt had passed away. And I just wanted to take the time, we wanted to take the time to thank you, Miss Emma Cherie, for everything that you did in order to get things set up at the Dollar High, because my aunt, she's actually one of the members at Dollar High, enjoys all the programs. She was part of a lot of programs at Dollar High. And we just wanted to express our self to you and thank you for everything that you did for our family to make sure that that actually happened. And thank the staff, Marvin Hunt, Diana, for everything that you guys did to make sure it was a success.
I just want to say on behalf of my family, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Let's give him one hand, everyone, if you don't mind.
Mayor, may I say something?
Yes.
To Ms. Teen Compton, I want to congratulate you, and you have a very strong mother behind you, so you have the opportunity to succeed and achieve all your dreams. So stay focused and be glad that you have your mom by your side.
Yeah, and congratulations again to Miss Teen Compton, Ms. Peterson, and also the new Miss Compton as well. Had a chance to see her on Sunday, but it takes a whole village. Shanice, you know how I feel about your program, your leadership. You have done a phenomenal job in really resurrecting Miss Compton back and making it bigger and better. And just a big thank you for being a positive role model, for really putting your time and your effort to providing women's empowerment for our community and to provide a leadership platform, because you didn't just accept the mantle for yourself, you made a platform for other people. And so it's beautiful to see you continue to flourish, and to the parents that support and all the young people, it's beautiful to see you all just supporting your young ladies. And to Councilwoman Sharif, unsung hero, thank you for all the work behind the scenes to make the teen pageant, Miss Compton pageant a success. It was a beautiful event, and you never know what happens before you really get to some place, and it takes a team. So thank you so very much for all your work that you did on behalf of them as well.
Mayor Brown, you know, it's amazing because when I see Shanice, I watched her when she graduated from high school, as she went off to college, and when she came back. And I'm so proud of the work that she's doing here in this community, because it's just really something that really is needed. And to see all the young ladies, how they come out and they perform. And when you could see them when they first come in. I had an opportunity to be a part of that at one of the meetings a while back. And when they first come in, they're very shy and everything, but to see them, how they flourish and how they come out and be able to perform there and actually come out and do such a magnificent job is really great. And to Ms. Teen Paget, I know you're going to do a wonderful job. I'm looking forward to you being at the backpack giveaway come Saturday, and coming out and helping, as a matter of fact, give out the backpacks to all these students there. So, but it's just great to see so many young people coming back and really trying to help out here in the city. So thank you. And Shanice, I'm very happy that I'm honored that I was able to be of support there for your family. Yeah.
Thank you. And lastly, a big thank you to Shanice's husband for being, I'm sure, the wind beneath her wings and supporting her 100%. I know it takes a team, so we thank you for allowing Shanice to serve the community. Thank you. Mr. Craig Henry.
Thank you, Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor Brown, to the City Council. I too love Compton. I mean, who doesn't love Compton? With all of what we have, we Comptonites. We love it. Is that what we call ourselves? Is that do we have an official name for us as Comptonites or
Comptonians?
Maybe
Compton High School.
Hey,
Comptonites.
Dominguez High, come on now. Listen, what I really wanted to come up and tell you all is first I wanted to thank Van Wilson and his team. And I also want to thank the city manager, Mr. Rambo. We have officially moved into the 600 North Alameda site, and it is phenomenal. The citizens have received us. They're coming in for services we don't even provide, but we don't care. We find a way, we find a resource, and we're helping them. And Councilman Galvan, we are in your district, and now that we're set up, we definitely want to invite you to come by and just be a part of really what's going on with Volunteers of America, our Compton office. We are quite pleased with everything that has taken place. I saw Craig Cornwell, our city attorney, in sweats, little hair on his face, cleaning up that 600 Alameda building so that residents of that building like me would feel comfortable and safe and clean. Thank you, Mr. Cornwell. Van did the same thing, Wilson, in there on their own, just cleaning up, getting it done. Council member, City Manager Rambo in there getting it done. And the mayor says it, and I know we all realize, it takes a village, not only to raise a child, but it takes a village to be a family. And in spite of every difference we may have in this city, we're family. And that comes first. I'm real sentimental right now because I love this place. I love this city. I love everybody sitting up on that dais. I've been married several times, but I had a wife who told me, she said, I said something, and she said, Craig, if everybody were the same, how boring would this world be? So I thank God for each and every personality that's up there and the ones that are in this audience. But one thing I do want us to all remember, and Aretha Franklin said it best, respect. Just hey.
I heard
Just
that.
respect one another. That's all. I can't say any more than that. Thank you all so much for allowing us in the 600 building, and we're going to do you proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. Ms. Brenna Norton.
Good evening, Mayor Asia Brown and City Council. My name is Brenna Norton. I'm with the consumer watchdog nonprofit Food and Water Watch. We're an independent nonprofit, take zero corporate or government money so we can stay accountable to the public interest and look out for consumers' pocketbooks and water projects that are a good investment. I'm good friends. I was good friends with the late Mike Chatham, who I think a lot of you know, and was working together on this project, and also with some of the concerned citizens of Compton that are here tonight and talking about this issue. So we're concerned about the $17 billion to $67 billion water tunnels that are being proposed by Metropolitan Water District and its impact on Compton residents. Governor Brown and Metropolitan Water District is pushing these water tunnels, but they would not deliver a drop of water or benefit to Compton or Southern California residents. But they will cause water bill and tax increases in Compton. As you may know, Compton residents in all of California had their vote taken away. This issue was voted on in 1982, and now it's the sole authority of Metropolitan Water District. Every environmental group in the state is opposed to this, the entire salmon fishing industry, the largest labor union in LA County, leading economists and academics, thousands of LA County residents, and many environmental justice and community groups in LA. So we're here tonight. Central Basin Water Agency, which partially provides water to Compton, heard both sides in a presentation on this issue. They have concerns about the cost. LA City Councilmember Martinez introduced a motion, and they heard both sides, and they have major concerns about the tunnels and impact to LA. And LA City Council members are leading the fight to have LA oppose this project. Burbank, Glendale, Pasadena, oops, I lost my way, Long Beach, many other cities are hearing both sides. So we just want to make sure that Compton also has this opportunity and that you're not just hearing from the Metropolitan Water District, who would financially benefit from this project. They've released cost numbers recently. They don't add up. There's a lot of holes. Again, right now they're saying $17 billion and $2 to $3 a month for the average household. That does not include interest, so you're looking at more like $5 to $15 a month for up to 40 years or 75 years. So that's a peak of about $200 a year for the average household. Agriculture districts are supposed to pay 45% of this project and split the cost with Southern California residents. They have not committed to paying for this. If they pull out, cost to us could triple. So I met with your Met Director, Jana Zarita. She's wonderful, and we're going to sit down and talk more about this before the vote. Metropolitan wants to vote on this, so Compton would vote on this via their seat on the Metropolitan Water District on September 26th. So we just want to make sure that that City Council also has this discussion, as all these other city councils are doing. And you know, as a consumer watchdog group, we're looking out for the best interest for your ratepayers and taxpayers. So we want to have this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the briefing. Mr. Joseph Donaldson.
Good evening, Mayor Brown and Council Board. My name is Joseph Darnell Donaldson, and I'm just coming here to speak on awareness and acknowledgement. Jana, I will be working with you, talking with you in regards to the breast cancer and setting up the prostate cancer booth. Okay, so I'll get with you and direct to that. I wanted to thank Emma Sharice and Mayor Brown for the council, that Festival Park event. I was very proud to make that presence. I am I'm from Compton. I was born and raised in Compton. I'm born on 134th Street, and then we moved to Carson, California, and we were being bused from Carson into Walton Junior High in Compton. So I am a native of Compton. I'm 61 years of age. I left Compton when, in '83, went to the Bay Area, joined the Army, and I'm back here now in Compton and trying to make a couple of things being acknowledged. Worst thing will be the prostate cancer. It will be the walk, the breast cancer walk that I'll be helping the system doing the booth, and a couple of other things during the Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, which is this month for September. And trying to getting that acknowledged. So I would also like to leave each one of you a ribbon and my business card.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you for your time and effort. Good night.
Thank you. Good night, thank you. Mr. Roberto Rodriguez. Mixing up him and Robert Ray. Mr. Ray, you'll be next.
Good afternoon. My name is Roberto Rodriguez. I am one of the teachers at Compton Youth Build. First and foremost, I want to thank City Council for opening up their doors to the old Dollar Hide. We've been doing some renovations this past month. Our construction group has been working from 7 o'clock in the morning till about 6 o'clock in the afternoon, pretty much all this month, exception of 1 week, which was, they just needed the time off. So whole new look to the inside. And what I actually have shared with you all, we're gonna actually have an open house that's open to the whole community, in which anybody can drop in, check out the new facility, check out how we have renovated it, how our young people have built up the walls, installed electric. Yesterday they were changing some of the stuff, I don't know, like in the kitchen, because we're actually, the kitchen that was there, they're renovating it completely, so they literally gutted it and they're putting up a brand new kitchen in there to actually become a full-service commercial kitchen that our young people will be able to do that, so they will be able to do catering events, not only here in the city but other private events. So thank you very much. And we are still, like always, have spaces open for young people who want to learn construction. So if anybody's interested, on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the Old Dollar Hide, which is located on 1108 North Oleander, you can go on and learn more about our program. So at 4 o'clock every Tuesday, Thursday, so today, Tuesday, and then Thursday, you can drop on by, check out our new space. Even if you just want to drop by and just check out the space, right now they're putting in the computers. So we have 25 computers, and then there's a room that has a mural, really cool, nice mural. So they're gonna do something in there. We kind of don't know yet, but the mural is there. We didn't touch the mural. We just didn't know what to do with it. We're just like, should it be my classroom? Which, I would be like, hey, that's my classroom. And I was like, if y'all have never seen the mural in there, it's beautiful. It is beautiful, and we just didn't know what to do with it, so we didn't know what, but most likely it might be our construction class. But if anybody wants to drop on by, check out the space, it's painted, new electric, new everything. And I want to thank once again the city for providing the space, and all the city workers who were in there taking out, I don't know how much stuff with our young people, but honestly, thank you so much for everything, and hope to see y'all soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Robert Ray.
Thank you, Robert Ray Compton. And the reason Rodney got here before I did today, I've been at our Red Cross chapter all day long. There is a lot going on, folks, with the American Red Cross. And in fact, Mr. City Manager, there is so much going on. Can you please schedule the American Red Cross as a special event next week on the agenda? There's a lot that the people in Compton need to know about that's happening right here in Compton. But also, in case you haven't heard, Hurricane Irma, has now been raised to a Category 5 and is headed for Florida. So, guess what? We need volunteers to want to go to Florida. If anyone would like to commit for a 2-week deployment for the Red Cross volunteer to Florida, please come to our Red Cross office in Long Beach Saturday morning at 9 a.m. The address is 3150 East 29th Street in Long Beach. It's just right off of Spring and Temple Street. And you can start your all-day training for deployment. And it's anticipated Florida could be worse than Houston. So, you know, the Red Cross, you've seen us on the news, you know what we're doing. And like I say, I don't have enough time, but there's a lot of stuff coming up here in Compton as well. One other item on the agenda that I am concerned about, American Express. What is all this catering? You know, $15,000, and most of it is catering, and there was a lot of shrimp on here for somebody's party. And the other thing is, why is Mr. Galvan constantly taking airplane trips to Las Vegas? So I'd like an explanation on the American Express bill. Thank you.
Miss Mary Franklin. She's no longer here. Mr. Richard Earl.
Good evening to the City Council. Welcome back. I'm here to support the non-hiking of our water rates. We need to keep an eye on this. We need to watch out because we are already paying a lot of money for our water here in the city. We don't need any more taxes put on us. So we need to keep an eye on it, and I would urge all of the city councils, not just Ms. Sarita, not just her, but all of you, keep an eye on this, because this is something that we don't want. This is something that we don't need here in Compton, and most of the other cities have already voted against it. Next, I would like to say the senior citizens at Dollar High. I mean, when we start talking about senior citizens paying insurance and stuff like that, I mean, don't we think that we have had them pay enough? I mean, really, it's more than a shakedown for us to ask for them to go over there, spend the rest of their little quality time that they use over there. It should be free. It should really be free. Next, I was observing, of course you know my son is on the fire department, but I was observing some of the equipment that they use, and I think we need to do something about their equipment. We need to look at our fire engines, fire trucks and stuff like that, you know, and do some maintenance on them, have them redone or something. Our firehouses probably need, and this is only what I hear, we need to get some air conditioning in them and get them taken care of, because our city firemen and our medical people and all those people, they have to come out and serve us. They're in those places for 24, 48 hours a day. I mean, it should be comfortable for them to live. Those are the things that we should put above a lot of other things, because when they come out, it might be your house, or your house that they come to. So let's take care of those guys. Let's make every effort we can to take care of our city fire services. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Earl. Ms. Joyce Kelly.
Good evening. I am Joyce Kelly, and I'm in the 3rd District. Welcome back. While you were away, I did not play. You know, I want the people to understand and realize that you just got elected. You stole your way into a seat or whatever, and I couldn't figure out why for $600 a month, because that's what the city charter says, your salary should be. Whether it's yesterday or today, 130 years ago, or this year. You knew what you were getting into. Now all of a sudden you want to force us into giving you money, but yet we can't force you into fixing our streets, trimming our trees, or anything else. I explained to you before why you shouldn't do it. Oh yeah, it was too soon. But people, let me tell you this. If you would go to the budget book that supposedly is balanced, you'll see they are receiving a total on their books of $53,100. That's including special projects, office supplies, postage, printing, idle sale, salary, conventions and meetings, and other general office. Whatever they're using it for, believe me, they're getting money out of it. They also have assistants. That's 5 assistants at $50,450 each. And Asia Brown has a secretary for $57,189. So she has 2 people in her office making over $100,000. If you add it together, those council assistants are making $201,800. If you put all their salaries together, it's $574,939, not including health, not including dental and vision, which they also receive. So what they're looking at, what you're looking at, is $1,386 and $1,386,755. So you do the math, people. Go. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Craig Cornwell, this election coming up, you're trying to amend the charter. It is not right. It's not written right. You threw in Board of Education. Board of Education is out of the city charter. And if you look at Section 900, it says deleted from city charter 4/21/2009. And there is no such thing as this in there. And some of the information that you want to correct, you said 504 needs to be dissolved or whatever, the entire, but you did not put the entire section 504 on Exhibit A. So you need to go back and check this. People, stop signing everything that you don't understand, that you don't read, that you don't analyze. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Lynn Boone.
Lynn Boone, City of Compton. Item number 9. When you bring that back, Mr. City Manager, you know that study is over a year old. I hope that it's accurate enough to make the changes. Item number 11, I'm so glad that you are making that change, Mr. City Manager. When the city manager signed that for 5 years, it was $550,000, over $500,000 to pick up animals that had nothing. There was no accountability. I don't know where you got these figures from for 766 animals, and I don't know where you got them from, and I am going to request that. But to get it to 400,000, that's pretty good, but I still would like to know what that consists of as far as the animal control, because I actually talked to some animal shelters, and they can actually get that figure down lower, but we do need some accountability for that. Then as far as the charter amendment for Mr. Cornwell, when that does come before the council, I will give you copies of that, because our city attorney is lying to the citizens and he is lying to the city council, because those changes that he's making was not discussed up here as far as the council, and what's on the ballot is not true as to what changes he is making. They are voting on that today as far as the Board of Supervisors to put it on the ballot, but what's on Exhibit A does not reflect as to what the voters will be voting on. The other thing that I want to say is that citizens, the only thing that's going to be on the November ballot will be the charter change. As far as the marijuana issue, that will not be on the ballot. And as far as a recall for our councilperson in District 1, that will not be on the ballot as well. And as far as people out with petitions and talking to citizens and giving them fraudulent information, that is against the law, and there is a election code to where that is against the law. You know, I'm not fighting with our city clerk, but although you do have to read it, but when someone comes to your door and they're not offering you any information that you can read, and they are providing you with false information, that is against the law. And as far as I think it's the DACA or whatever, with the youth being returned, people, we do have to start questioning these politicians, and they're lying to us when they are campaigning. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Boone. Ms. Marie Hollis.
Good evening, and welcome back from your vacation. I'm here primarily to reiterate Brenda Norton's presentation to you about the Metropolitan Water Tunnel coming in. I'm hoping that the citizens can be apprised of this information, that we can get hear both sides of that project. She has a documentary that she would like to present to the citizens of Compton, and I think she had asked perhaps for the use of the community center, that it could house as many citizens perhaps that could come out. And if this is going to affect our water, we all want to know about it, and we certainly want to make sure that the cost for this tunnel does not end up on our water bills. I understand the neighboring cities are voting against it, but we need to be informed as to what this tunnel is all about and how the cost is going to affect us as citizens here of Compton. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is the situation that Mrs. Dudley spoke to you about the gentleman coming out regarding the inspection of her home. I had the opportunity to observe that situation, and I was appalled at what I saw and what I heard. The gentleman was extremely rude to the contractor and certainly had no feeling of consciousness. That man sat on Miss Dudley's porch and waited 3 hours for the man to come. And then the man came and told this gentleman that he was going to have to come back and wait on him approximately another hour or two, and then had asked him to pay again a fee that he had already paid regarding the contract. I think that this does not speak well of us as the city of Compton. We don't have a good reputation that we are business friendly, and something needs to be done about that. We have that scar on us, and it's been on us for too long. I think the personnel in these departments need to be trained. They need to be trained about courtesy. As some gentleman spoke here just a few minutes ago, talking about respect. And this is something that needs to be encouraged within the departments of our city. And the next thing that I also want to talk about, I thought it was utterly ridiculous to say that the seniors were going to have to pay for some kind of insurance. You know, Compton has enough problems of its own that's built in. Now, why do we take the time to create unnecessary problems? Then you have to spend the time to unravel the mess that you've created. This was something that should never have been even suggested. So I just hope that this year that it's going to be positive and we're going to move forward, and Compton is going to be great again. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hollis. Mr. Mac Shorty. Ms. Gilda Bluford. Ms. Bluford makes her way up. I want to acknowledge Assemblymember Gibson. His representative, Ms. Michelle Chambers, is with us on this evening. Send our best to our representative. Good evening, Ms. Bluford.
Good evening and welcome back. I have 2 public service announcements. The first one is to announce the Veterans Stand Down, which will be held Saturday, September 16 through 18. We are desperately in need of monetary donations. No amount is too large or too small. The event will be held at 700 North Bullis Road in Compton this year. The second announcement is there will be a community educational marijuana forum Saturday, September 9th from 10 a.m. to noon at the East Rancho Dominguez Library at 4420 Rose Street, Compton, California. We had an event on the 19th. We sent out a survey, and 74.86% of the 90% of the participants who submitted their survey asked that we have more educational events. So we have one scheduled for Saturday. We hope you will attend. The third comment I have is regarding the seniors at the Dollar High Community Center. I'm a little perplexed because if the insurance is $100 a year, but you charge $13 for each event, if you took the number of instructors and the number of participants and you divided that by the number of the funds that you raised, I'm sure you would be able to cover the $100 cost of each of the instructors that you're trying to build. I just think it's asinine for you to charge the seniors $100 for insurance when actually they are the ones that paid for that facility. So I think you need to kind of rethink some of the decisions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bluford. We have now concluded our public comments. Madam City Clerk.
For consent agenda.
Thank you, Madam. Consent items are routine and expected to be non-controversial. They will be acted upon by the council at once without discussion unless a council member requests for an item to be removed or discussed.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Galvin.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 7 is removal. Item actually 7 and 8 is removal and appointment to the Planning Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Gotta have a name. Gotta, for discussion?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Discussion?
I want to appoint the one that you guys removed when I didn't come to the meeting. Oh.
Did you have a recommendation for the Planning Commission?
Yeah.
Okay.
So do I have to motion to remove someone first?
Yes, you would have to remove someone. There's currently no.
What is the names of the ones there now?
One moment, please.
Current Planning Commissioner Elizabeth Atkinson, Lily Darden, Kaneka Gardner, Lamika Horton Pope, Juanita Wright Greenwright.
I want to remove Lily Darden.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Now, Ms. Darden came in. She has been sworn in. She has been to the meetings. The young lady that was there, that was appointed, She never came in to be sworn in. And so after 60 days of not being sworn in, my question now is that why are you trying to remove Ms. Darden? When Ms. Darden came in and took care of the business as far as trying to be on the committee and also attending the meetings to make sure that she was there. Now, like I said, is that anybody, I supported everybody that people wanted to put on these committees.
You didn't support
I
mine when I did it.
not argue with you about it.
So that's a lie.
But like I said, is that the person did not come in to get sworn in, nor did they even attend the meetings. So you're gonna remove someone that's been at the meetings and came and took care of, I mean, I'm just confused as to why what's going on.
Well, each council person currently has a representative,
I don't.
so we can kind of narrow
And
it down to see.
so what happened was that
We can open it up.
I made the motion to remove her. If the council doesn't want to do it, let's put it to a vote and find out.
Yeah, call for a question. Is there any additional discussion? What? Yes, ma'am.
This is his appointment?
Yeah.
No, this is to remove.
No, I'm saying.
It's the one I initially
is
put
there-
in.
Pardon?
It's the one that I initially, the only Hispanic on the planning commission that I appointed, and then I went to my uncle's funeral, and then they removed her that time without giving me notice or nothing. So I just want to put her back, that's all.
Well, I can just say, we didn't remove,
I mean, I've been here for 5 years, and I never had an appointment. When I finally got one, 3 months ago, you guys removed them on a meeting when I wasn't here, because I was at my uncle's funeral.
well, I can say for myself, I was adamant about making sure that we left open certain slots for you to be able to make a recommendation. Currently, we have 2 members that are appointed by 1 council person, so perhaps, let me see how we can do this.
Well, I made a recommendation to remove Darden, and I'll make a recommendation. If
Who's
it
in the
goes
fourth
through, I'll make a
district?
recommendation to appoint someone.
I have two.
Everybody has 1, but
Oh, okay.
I believe District 1 has appointed two people. So, we have Ms. Juanita Green Wright, we have Ms. Lamika Horton Pope, we have Kanikia Gardner, we have Lily Darton, and then we have Elizabeth Atkinson. And so the key is to have each council person appoint someone.
Well, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying
I
to do mine
understand,
right now.
and I
yeah.
support that. But we're gonna have to remove someone that is not represented by that district. That's my recommendation, because, let me see, do you know the districts for the various folks?
It's not required to have district.
But we're gonna do it that way, we've done it like that. District 1, 4.
Can I call the vote?
She's
Ms.
actually,
Clerk?
she's in 4, but she's mine.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically what you guys are saying is then. is
Mr.
that-
City Attorney.
Excuse
She's
me?
in 3rd, she's in 3rd.
Madam Mayor, when you get a vote.
Yes, I'm just trying to get the facts straight. Yes, sir.
I believe we have a motion and a second.
I didn't get the second for removal.
Oh,
So we just have a motion.
I have a motion.
he needs a second.
So I need-
Second.
Then we have discussion.
Yeah, we were at discussion. So we have 1 representative that's in District 1, we have another that is in District 4, we have another at large, and we have 2 that reside in District 3, but they were appointed by, 1 person was appointed by council person in District 1, and another was appointed
Why
by
is
a
all that
former
even relevant?
council person, because it was asked of,
I
how are
don't even
these?
see why all that's relevant.
It's relevant in my opinion because of the fact, like I said, you had someone that was appointed that never came to be sworn in at all. Ms. Darden came, took care of the business, and that was 60 days went by. Now you here trying to say, oh, well, let's move Ms. Darden? Well, why is it that you have other people there, why aren't you removing anybody?
Can we call
else?
for the vote, Ms. Clerk?
So that's the only thing I'm saying, is
Ms.
that I'm
Godwin?
talking about the fairness
We're
of this council.
currently at discussion, and we should just allow for.
But if
folks to
there's
have
a
discussion.
motion and a second, can we vote or no?
We
Do have to
can,
wait?
currently we're at discussion, and so everyone is entitled to have their discussion, and then we can proceed forward. Are there any other people that would like to speak on this item? Roll call.
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Galvin.
Yes.
McCoy. Yes. Sharif.
No.
Mayor Brown.
No.
I'd like to motion to appoint Delilah Gomez back to the Planning Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Any additional discussion? And for the record, I'm not against any particular planning commissioner, but I do believe every council person should have an appointee so that there can be checks and balances, that they're representatives throughout the entire city. There's a system in place for a purpose. And so I support every council person at least having a representative, and that's the point of the discussion for me. Are there any questions? No? Okay, I'm just checking. Any additional discussion?
Because he did have a lady and said he never, that we took his person, and so he was saying, so we took his person.
That's not what happened. That's not accurate, but it's fine. That's not what happened.
Madam Clerk?
The chair.
Any additional discussion? Roll call. I'm sorry, did you have?
I'm just trying to find out, do we have a second?
I do have a second.
Okay.
Roll call.
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Galvin.
Yes.
McCoy. Sharif. Delilah Gomez, appointed to the Planning Commission.
You can make a motion for an appointment. You can make a motion for another appointment. If you would like to remove someone, you can always make a motion.
But you need to vote on this motion to appoint Delilah Gomez to the Planning Commission. That's the motion on the floor. The motion on the floor is to appoint Delilah Gomez to the Planning Commission.
Look, I'm not arguing about anyone, but the only thing I'm saying is that the fairness that I see sitting up on this council and what we keep doing on this council is that it's something that I do not agree with. And so, the lady didn't come in before. Now we're back to the same thing again. I don't even know Delilah.
You can just vote no.
And I don't have to know Delilah. Like I said, is that. But Ms. Darden came in here, Ms. Darden, and everybody voted, sit here on this council and voted for this. And now you turn around and you vote to remove Ms. Darden off. And here we are back to the same thing again. So my vote is no.
Mayor Brown.
I'm sorry?
Mayor Brown.
Oh, we're at the same roll call. I'm sorry, I was texting something else.
This is to appoint Delilah Gomez to the Planning Commission.
Okay, I support it, yes.
Madam Clerk, Madam Mayor, if I may. Madam Clerk, can we make a motion for another committee right now? I want a motion to appoint Ms. Darden back to the FGAP committee.
We've already put somebody on the FGAP committee in place of Ms. Darden.
Planning is the only one agenda.
That's the only one that's open.
Oh, just planning is agenda.
It's the only one that's on the agenda for tonight. If you would like for that to come back.
Can you bring that back?
Alita.
You can remove any other commissioner.
Ms. Godwin, can I make a motion to bring back that appointment next week? Because unlike my colleague, I'll support her appointee on another commission.
No motion is necessary, just
A request.
direct.
To bring back
You're
what?
bringing back, what are we bringing back?
To put back Darden on the, what is it, FGAD? Or whatever it is?
Ms. Darden, I don't mind putting Ms. Darden back on that, but the thing of it is going back and forth with her. She just came off the FGAB, now you want to put her back on the FGAB. Do they even have a spot open on the FGAB so we can appoint Ms. Darden?
There are currently no openings on FGAB, but you can do the same as you did tonight, remove someone and then put someone back on. So that can be done.
And I've said this once, I'm going to say it again. It's really critical that we have people that are qualified and that have training. And so, Mr. City Manager, I'm asking that we come forward with training for the Planning Commission because they're making multi-million-dollar decisions, and we really need to make sure that they are equipped to do what they need to do.
Mayor Brown, my concern is this, is that making sure that you put people that's qualified on, especially when you come down to the Planning Commission and the Personnel Commission, because you do need to have qualified people there. Ms. Darden has the background for planning. That was the reason that I appointed Ms. Darden, was because she does have the background for planning. So we need to have people in these positions that can help us, not to be there in order for us to take directions from this council, but can actually go there and make decisions. And this is what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, what is, Madam Clerk, what is the requirements for the commission?
I don't have it before me. But as
18 on the
far as
resume?
I know, is that you just have to be a citizen of Compton and. Right.
Be 18 years old?
Do you have to be a registered voter?
Yes.
See, I don't want minimum requirements for my city. I want people that are qualified. I want the best. So I'm going to hope that we have. I don't want the basics. That's how you get basic products, is when you have basic things. But I'm going to just say this. We have to be professional and understand that it's more than just putting somebody in a seat. You have to have people that have a background in planning, architectural, business development, because they're making decisions for us. Give you a prime example. There's a new development going on Compton Boulevard. Looks nice, but if you have people that can advocate for the architecture that you want in your city, the same things, the same drought-tolerant landscaping, different things that you want to see in your community, you have people fight for you at the front line. But here we are, and things have to come back to the council because people are afraid to make critical decisions because they're just not prepared to make those type of decisions. And so things shouldn't even come to the council, but they come here because we really have to have a strong planning commission. It's not saying that the whole planning commission is not strong. It's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying we have to have people with the proper background, because I'm not going to go to a specialist, or excuse me, I'm not going to need a specialized surgery and go to a general practitioner. I'm going to get the service that I need for myself and my family. So we have to treat the citizens in the same way. We just have to. We have people here with no background in planning on the planning commission. What is that? Where do they do that? It's disrespectful to the citizens, truly. They deserve better than that. We can move on, but what I've heard was that it's coming back.
I was asked to bring back federal grants. That's the only thing I heard.
And I'm going to ask that you bring this one back too. Planning Commission, you can bring that back too. Yeah, we should bring that back.
Isaac, she is interested in serving?
Yeah, of course. Don't believe I'm not even going to get into it. They know exactly what they did. I'm not an idiot, neither are the people in the audience.
Alita, Madam City Clerk, did the young lady ever come in to be sworn in?
Didn't we already vote on that?
We asked the question. We already voted on that, didn't we?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Do I answer or move on?
You may answer. We're having a conversation.
Yeah. What happens when a person is appointed by council to a commission? My office will send a letter to that individual asking them to come in at their convenience to be sworn in and to fill out their economic interest form. Ms. Gomez, today, prior to her being removed, never acknowledged the letter. She never came in, she never made a phone call. And so now we have Ms. Darden being appointed because of that. So she never did come in to be sworn. So and it's council's right to make appointments on and off.
And just for the record, we did not remove any appointee from the Planning Commission. The person never came in, it was never sworn in, and so there was a vacancy. No one here voted to remove anyone, so it wasn't a political vote. It was just the person never came in to accept the position. So.
I don't think it was a political thing. I think it was like a personal thing.
For me, it wasn't personal.
Well, no, not for you.
It's not personal because the lady just never came in. That was the only reason why I made the appointment.
Well, she's on there now, so hopefully she comes in this time.
I will send her another letter.
Like I said, is that she didn't come.
I'll send her a letter.
Madam Clerk.
Item number 9 under City Manager's Report is a request to schedule a public hearing to receive comments on the city's comprehensive fee schedule, scheduling that hearing February 26, 2017 at 5:35 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Oh.
Madam Mayor, this item, the comprehensive fee schedule, has an aspect that requires ordinances to be adopted along with the project. This is requesting a hearing by resolution. The ordinance I anticipate being effective by November 7th. We can either have the resolution before the ordinance effective date, or we can ask for the same date as the ordinance implementation. And I believe that would be November 7th. It's up to management how you want to proceed. We can change the September to November 7th, and everything would be effective
I would
on
prefer
this.
the November 7th, right?
Everything would be effective on the same date.
Yeah.
So we're, Madam Clerk, we're,
November 7th at, we'll still leave it at
I'm
5:30.
sorry.
No, you're sorry.
is that not a,
I mean, it's election for the county, so, you know.
we're here.
If count, I mean, it's still a regular meeting, but it's hot
They
in
don't
here.
come in here, they don't come here, do they?
No, it's a county
It's a county
election.
election,
No, we won't use the chambers on that day, but it's a regular scheduled meeting.
Okay.
Any additional discussion?
November 7th at 5:35 PM. Did you say roll call?
Roll call.
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Galvin.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown. The
Yes.
city attorney's reports.
Mayor, City Council, we're requesting one closed session discussion, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, one potential case pursuant to California Government Code Section 54956.9, subsection B. Requesting a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Galvin.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Under new business, item number 11 is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, authorizing the city manager to establish a purchase order to pay all invoices billed for animal care and control services for fiscal year 2017-18 in the amount of $400,000.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions. Oh, yes, go ahead.
For the city manager, for the people, this payment is in addition to the current payments? These are outstanding payments?
No, this is every year we contract with animal control to provide services for us, so with the county, and so this is this year's contractual agreement with them.
Okay, this is just our usual contract.
The annual contract.
Do we have a staff person that's assigned to work with animal control?
Generally, I call code enforcement on that. Sometimes I talk to Mr. Roscoe, but generally I call code enforcement out, or I call the sheriff's department if we have a vicious animal. But I'll give you an example. For instance, barking dog complaints, animal control will take care of those, and those will be code enforcement issues. When you see stray animals that are perhaps vicious or people are scared of them, I call code enforcement, who calls animal control. Dead animal pickup, sometimes Public Works will contact them, or Parks and Rec. So a number of departments interact with them.
Thank you.
The council has asked, prior to your arrival, Mr. Rambo, about really reviewing the animal control contract and to ensure that the response times are what they should be, because we all receive constituent complaints of the response time being outside of what their contract stipulates, the 48 hours. And so we need to just ensure that we're receiving the service that we're paying for. And I noticed that this contract is a little bit less than last year's. Is there a reason for that?
I believe one of the things that we did this year is we get some of the money back when they license the animals, when they do the canvassing. My guess is, looking at the number of animals we picked up, they may be decreasing in terms of the number of animals that are being strayed out there, or animals that I've seen out in the field. I'm not sure why it was $550,000 in the past. So this is just what the contract came back this year.
Okay. Thank you. Any additional discussion?
Yes. Can
Yes.
we also make sure that the number is published, if it's not on our website, so that people may be able to contact Animal Control Director? Thank you.
Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Galvan.
Yes.
McCoy. Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 12 is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, accepting the construction of the Wilmington-Alondra Area Sewer Main Restoration Project as complete. Direct staff to file the notice of completion with the Los Angeles County Recorder's Office and authorize the release of the contractor's retention.
So moved.
Second. Discussion? Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Galvan.
Yes.
McCoy. Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 13 is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, authorizing the city manager to enter into a professional service agreement with and establish a purchase order for Code Consulting Group, LLC, to provide fire protection engineering services for the Compton Fire Department for fiscal year 2017-18 in the amount of $45,000.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Galvan.
Yes.
McCoy. Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 14 is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, authorizing the renewal of the contractual agreement with All City Management Services, Inc. and Compton Unified School District regarding the provisions of crossing guard services and the establishment of a purchase order for fiscal year 2017-18 in the amount of $314,853.79.
So moved.
Discussion. Mr. City Manager, I know that myself and Councilwoman McCoy asked for some research to be done on this item as to why we're continuing to pay for these crossing guards, other than it was just done years prior. I've never heard of this before.
The best answer that I've received so far is that this has been an established agreement between the city as well as the school district over the years, and that we share those costs. I do know that as cities grow, there is some state regulation that requires cities to help, or at least they could bear some of the burden of increased safety around the schools as you increase your population. I know Clinton Elementary is a school that was implemented in the last 15 or 20 years. So it's just an agreement that we've had with the school district. I'm not sure that we could untangle that agreement without some discussion with the school board, but I'm sure it's possible if you don't want to do that. But that's just a longstanding agreement that we've had with the school district.
Well, it just makes sense. Our taxpayer dollars are paying for the school district to take care of these costs, and if we're coming back over the city, I just don't understand that they have a significant bond that they're taxing the taxpayers on currently. I'm just trying to understand why we're paying twice.
Madam Mayor, the crossing guards, I mean, if you guys take a look at it, is that, like the city manager said, it is something that's been an agreement between the city and the school district for a number of years. If this is something that the city wants to do, that I think that there should be some agreement, that some discussion that's taking place here with the school district before even considering us not paying our share of that. And then maybe we can sit back and take a look at it. But as they are, when we take a look at the crossing guards, when they are taking people across the street, they're not only just taking school kids across the street, they're also taking adults and everybody else is there across the street as well. So maybe that's the reason that this has been set up like this, because when they are actually there as a safety precaution, not just for the school, for the children that's crossing that street, but for everybody that's crossing that street. But but I do think that, for me, before moving in that direction, I really would like to see some discussion take place with that school district. before even trying to make a decision as far as not doing this.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I said the same thing, and I wanted to have that conversation before this item came back, to make that discussion or to discuss what's going on here. Because they have school police, we have sheriffs, I mean, we have law enforcement. If there's some better coordination, I'm just trying to make sure that there isn't a better way to do this, because that's a lot of money. And I want people to be safe,
Madam
but if
Mayor,
we're paying for law
may I
enforcement.
also say, from what I understand in trying to do some research, I also found that they said because during the time that they're crossing, they're on the city's thoroughfares, and so we take on a certain responsibility until they get to the actual school ground. So that's kind of how the agreement came about, because we take our responsibility when they're on our city streets, and so that's what I was told.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me, but could we have this item come back with some more information, or at least a conversation set between the superintendent, if we can call a few districts and just see what standard practices are? Because I have no problem paying for safety, but if there is a more efficient way to do that, then I'd like to be able to pursue that. Because we're $300,000, do we need more deputies? Do we need to have some additional security officers from the city? I mean, what are our options here? I'd just like to know what the options are.
If I may make a comment, Madam Mayor. That's a yes. Can I make a comment?
Please.
I guess you kind of have to have school-age kids and be a mother or be a guardian of a kid to understand school guard safety, crossing guards. So I had school just started back in Compton August 17th. I had the conversation with Darren Brawley a couple of days ago, and we talked about adding some additional crosswalk guards, because there are some intersections like in the first district, Wilmington and El Segundo, where the 7-Eleven is now across the street from Willowbrook. So at 2:45, all the kids are headed out to cross the Wilmington and El Segundo to go to the 7-Eleven, and there's no crossing guard there, and that is a huge intersection, and it's really close to the curb. It's not a lot of, what do you call it, space between the sidewalk and the street. So we talked about that. So normally, it's the city's responsibility to do the traffic study to justify crosswalk guards. So Darren Brawley, the school superintendent, will be contacting the city manager in the next couple of days, because he's going to try to see if they can use their last SECA study as a traffic study to justify the crossing guards. And there's another couple of intersections that need crossing guards. There needs to be a crossing guard between Davis and Dickerson. There was 3 kids that got hit in that crossing. I think that's Matheson coming from Davis going over to Dickerson. Some of the kids walk together, and the little kids go over to Dickerson, and the middle school go over to Davis. So, when these crossing guards were really assigned to these streets, more kids were walking to school. Now everybody's getting dropped off in a vehicle to school. So if you're around a school at dismissal hour or drop-off hour, it's utter chaos. You need as many people out there as you can. You have school security, you have code enforcement, you have the crosswalk lady, you have the principal. Everybody's trying to keep the kids safe. So I think we really need to get with the superintendent and see what we need to do in order to place these additional crosswalk guards, because this year they have one at the walk, Greenleaf and Wilmington, because a couple of kids were always getting hit at that crossing guard. And then they have 2 at Wilmington and Alondra now. Some of these intersections are so huge and the people drive so fast. So before we even talk about decreasing crosswalk guards, we need to get the study done so we can put crosswalk guards wherever they're needed for the safety of our kids and our community.
And
Thank you.
I want to say, I think the crosswalks, the crossing guards, I'm just going to talk about my district. I think they're important too, because there's been an increase homeless people living in my district, and every day the crazy guy in El Segundo, I always get worried because the school, what is it, an elementary school? It's literally like right across the street from him. Is it an elementary school?
I don't know the name of it, but I know
On
what school you're
Alameda
talking
and
about.
El Segundo?
Alameda and El Segundo.
Yeah,
where he
and
lives.
this guy is crazy in his mind. He keeps building these two-story fortresses, to live on the street. And so I think that it's important for us in certain areas to have extra adult supervision for our kids.
And maybe I wasn't clear. My question is not regarding the need. I'm talking about justification, since we're spending taxpayer dollars and we still never received a traffic study, never received any type of documentation. I've asked about this every single year, and so I'm asking about it again. And I actually asked about it during the budget time, because when it was time to pay this bill, because my only request, and I'm saying this publicly, is that if we're going to be giving another public entity money for a specific activity, jobs, we just need to be able to have some justification that that's actually what, number one, that it's needed, number two, that those funds, and some documentation that that's actually what is being done with those funds, and what is the need moving forward, because I would like to see our law enforcement be able to weigh in and to be able to dictate whether or not we need more crossing guards. Because if we need more crossing guards, I'm not opposed to paying even more money for the safety of our families and our kids, but how are we making this decision but to just get a request every year for $300,000? I don't know what that's for. I can't, I still haven't received justification for that. So I just want to say that publicly, because just because we have relationships with the school board or we have friends, that's not enough to do business for me personally. So I would like to have some justification. And I'm asking for it again. And I asked for it before this item came forward, because I'd like to be able to see that when we're approving over $250,000 to another public entity for me. Any additional discussion?
Can I add one comment?
Please.
So the cost on the city would be $157,000. But if we're going to bring this back, the contract sunsetted in June, and I would.
June 30th?
Yeah, I think we need to continue at least to pay until we get this issue settled. So that would be my request.
I think we need to vote on it.
I got a text from residents that the microphones are not working.
Oh, thank you, sir. If you could provide that documentation, or if there's a recommendation, do we need more crossing guards? The population is decreasing at the district, so just what does that look like moving forward? I would like to see some documentation. I have no problem voting for the item, but we need to be able to have documentation as to what we're doing. That's all I'm saying.
But the crosswalk guards are not only designated to school-age kids. They cross seniors, they cross mothers and strollers. I mean, they cross anybody that come to this crosswalk. It's not just kids.
So
Any additional discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
On this particular item, this is what we're looking at now is the number of crossing guards that we already have in place. Am I right, Mr. City Manager?
Yes.
So these are the ones that we already have in place, not adding anything to this. And so half of this, you said, is 150. The whole thing is $314,000.
And the city's half is $157,000.
$157,000.
Oh, I just got some. So according to someone that was formerly here at that time, the crossing guards, the agreement came when we had about 60,000 students in Compton Unified School District. Currently we have 20,000 students, and so just it's worth looking at again. And again, the need may be more traffic, as was said, seniors, families, all that. I just think we need to look at this and get some documentation. And again, if we need to pay more, I'm for paying more, but I'd just like to see that. So we can bring that item back, or the additional documentation back, if you would like, Mr. Rambo, and then if the council would like to move forward and vote on this item tonight, that's fine, to pay the bill, but we need to bring that back. It's up to the will of the council.
I'm gonna call for the question.
Any additional discussion? Roll call.
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Galvan.
Yes.
McCoy. Yes. Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, and I'm asking that the documentation will come forward, if we can get that next week. Thank you.
And put it on as a staff report so that we will all have access to it, please.
Item number 15 is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, authorizing the issuance of a purchase order to the Los Angeles County Department of Public Works for the payment of plan check and permit fees for the Tank Farm Booster Station project in the amount of $40,000.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Galvan.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 16 is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, accepting the bid of and establishing a purchase order for Zenner USA to furnish and deliver lead-free multi-jet or positive displacement water meters for fiscal year 2017-18 in the amount of $45,160.76.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Galvan.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 17 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Compton accepting the bid of and establishing a purchase order for Armorcast Products Company to furnish and deliver RPM Palomar construction meter boxes and covers for fiscal year 2017-18 in the amount of $31,636.51.
So moved.
Second. Discussion? Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Galvan.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 18 is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, accepting the bid of and establishing a purchase order to Ferguson Water Works to furnish and deliver fire hydrants and gate valves for fiscal year 2017-18 in the amount of $79,186.43.
So moved.
Second. Discussion? Mr. City Manager, could you just give a brief summary on this item relative to the water acquisition?
Sure. The Compton Municipal Water Department, they're responsible for constructing and inspecting, maintaining, and repairing water mains, gate valves, hydrants, meter boxes, etc. So these fire hydrants and boxes that we're purchasing allows the water department to timely respond to routine and emergency equipment needs. For instance, when a car hits a fire hydrant and knocks it off, and you see the fountain, they can come out and replace those items relatively quickly if we have them on stock, rather than have to order them.
Thank you, sir. Any additional discussion? Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Galvan.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 19 is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, authorizing the issuance of a purchase order to the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California for the purchase of imported water for the fiscal year 2017-18 in the amount of $200,000.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Galvan.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 20 is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, authorizing the issuance of a purchase order to the Water Replenishment District of Southern California for groundwater production assessment fees for the 2017-2018 fiscal year in the amount of $2,700,000.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? I'll talk about it later. Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Galvan.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 21 is warrant number, we're under approval of warrants. Warrant number 241148, August the 10th, Chris Cat Group Services for backpacks for backpack giveaway in the amount of $3,328 requested by the city manager. Warrant number 240976, July 25th, United Site Services for restroom services at South Park in the amount of $286.77, requested by the city manager. Warrant number 240972, July 25th, for Quill Corporation, replacement bulbs for premium power projector in the amount of $323.74, requested by the city manager. And warrant number 240950, July 25th, Best Buy business account, purchase of a computer station in the amount of $3,206.37, requested by the city manager. And warrant number 241173, August 17th, American Express Travel, for miscellaneous charges for various items and services in the amount of $15,633.99, requested by the city manager. Total amount of warrants, $22,778.87.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Galvin.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Item number 22, warrant number 240845 is being removed. That should be approved under the successor agency agenda. So the warrants before you to be approved is warrant number 241176, August 17th, AT&T, for phone services in the amount of $10,416.97, requested by General Services. Warrant number 24117, August 17th, AT&T Global Network Services, for phone services in the amount of $10,691.72, requested by General Services. Warrant number 241291, August 24th, Calcova Enterprises, for the fire apparatus solutions, the services for fire vehicle repair and service in the amount of $7,128.70, requested by the fire department. Warrant number 241183, August 17th, Carmenita Ford truck sales for fire vehicle emergency repairs in the amount of $11,729.44, requested by the fire department. Total amount of warrants, $40,143.47.
So moved.
I'm sorry.
Second.
That is, yes, minus 176.65.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, what was the motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Galvin.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Any council comments?
Thank you. Madam City Clerk? Councilman Galvin?
Oh, I go first now? All right. Let me see something real quick. Okay. First, I want to say, everybody, it's great to be back here, back to work in the city of Compton. You know, we had a little vacation. You know, I think it was refreshing to, you know, get away for a little bit, but I'm ready to come back and get back to work and continue to represent the residents of the 2nd District and the entire city of Compton. During the break, I had a successful, my 5th annual backpack giveaway at Looters Park, where we had thousands of kids come out here and get their school supplies. So I want to thank our sponsors, the Water Replenishment District of Southern California, Stock Cross, Republic Trash, Walmart. I want to give a shout out to my co-host, School Board President Satra Zarita, the WBC Cares, and Angels for Sight for participating in this great event and making it the success that it was. I also want to thank my colleagues and the city staff for supporting the event as well for the 5th straight year. So it's just great to be able to continue to give back to the community. I wanted to give a plug for the Veteran Stand Down next week taking place at Bullis Road. I've spoken to the people that were putting it on today in my office, and I told them that I had some concern that I heard from some of the residents was during the stand down, the homeless people don't leave, they stay in Compton. But they assured me that was not the case, that they make sure that, they said the majority of the people find housing during the event, and they make sure that wherever they brought them from, they take them back in the buses, so that was good to hear. So it's going to be next week. They're looking for volunteers. If anybody wants to go out there and support the event and volunteer your time or donate any amount of money or donate any of your used clothes or any kind of supplies for our veterans, be sure to contact Ms. Johnson, Lestine Johnson from the Compton Chamber. She's the one putting the event on. Also want to give a shout out to our Parks and Rec staff. I don't know if you guys have driven by Looters Park lately, but they're doing some massive construction there of a vendor we approved months ago. He finally got to work. I think he was waiting for the kids to go back to school, so that way the park wouldn't be shut down and ruin their summer at the park. But they're installing a exercise trail, new picnic tables, benches, canopies, all this stuff that we got from a grant specifically designated for that park. We got that grant. We've had that grant for years. It was actually here when the previous council person was here, but for some reason they never used it. And we've been trying to get someone in there to do that work for the last maybe 2.5 years, huh, Mayor Brown? At Looters? Yeah, for some reason, one contractor after another just kept falling out. So I'm happy to hear that they're finally underway over there. They're going to install a jogging path, some exercise equipment so people can go work out. So I'm excited for that. Also, I wanted to report to the city manager an increase in homeless population at my parks. At Looters Park, I know I bother you about it all the time, but I want to make sure I say it publicly so the people know that I'm not just ignoring the issue. At Looters Park, the community has grown a lot. I think they're about 10 strong right now at Looters Park in the nights, camping out in between the tennis courts and the basketball gym. And then also just recently, I would say for like the last weekend maybe, there's a new group of homeless people that moved to Cesar Chavez Park. They totally took over the front end of the park where Santa Fe's at. There's a disabled vehicle that's parked there. They use that as one of their bedrooms, and they built a massive tent out of trash bags. And I sent a picture yesterday in the night, and it's very unsafe. A lot of the residents that go to that park, they don't want to take their kids anymore because the homeless people that are staying right there, and it seems like nobody's doing nothing about it. Can you give an update on what we can do and what we have done and what we plan on doing to make sure that we tackle this issue?
Honorable Mayor and Council, so the homeless issue is a very challenging one. One, it's not a crime to be homeless or poor or mentally ill. The gentleman that you mentioned earlier that lives at Alameda in El Segundo has been incarcerated. He's been moved. He's been committed. For some reason, he just loves that particular spot. So I've had the LA County homeless folks come out and talk to him, some mental health professionals, and the same with some of the folks over at Looters Park. I know the ones in Looters Park by name. I sent an email out today to the county as well as the Sheriff's Department, Code Enforcement, another group called PATH, which is an acronym for People Assisting the Homeless, as well as the Volunteers of America, who also assist the homeless, and Delmontia Green, who's our housing manager, and she also manages the homeless by offering vouchers as well as other outreach services, and she also coordinates the homeless count each year. So we provide a number of resources to deal with the homeless. They're just a very, very challenging group that have a host of issues from medical to substance addictions as well as mental health issues. So we deal with the homeless literally every day. Every day we deal with the homeless to some degree. So the email I sent earlier today, I CC'd you on that, particularly for your parks, to try to make sure we move them out. For those of you who don't know, in the city of Los Angeles, they get sued routinely for taking the homeless, moving the homeless, taking their belongings, discarding their what we perceive as trash, but their belongings. So in order to avoid litigation and to be compassionate and within the boundaries of our constitutional guidelines, we reach out to a number of city and county resources to address the homeless as best we can, to try to get them places and offer them shelter. Often they refuse it, but to get them out of your parks, I understand, as they're in other parks here in the city. So those are the things that we do for the homeless literally every day.
And you know, to kind of touch on what you're saying, I know that we have to be compassionate to every human being, no matter what situation they're in, and God knows what drove those people the homeless people to, the situation they're in today. But I think that one thing that we have to make sure that we do is put our children's safety first. And I think that when you have grown men sleeping right there in parks, hanging out and making parks their home where our young kids go play and hang out, and we spend millions of dollars improving our parks so our families will be able to go to our parks, so our kids and our families have a safe place to gather and to be kids. And then we jeopardize their safety, we jeopardize their health by continuing to allow this to take place. I mean, I can drive to Downey, and I could assure you there's no homeless people camped out in their parks as much as there are in ours. I could drive to Carson, I could assure you the same thing. I could even drive to Linwood, and I could assure you the same thing. So for some reason, in Compton, they get to live here, just like the marijuana shops. They get to come and open up and not pay taxes and not worry about that, and they get to operate for years. In Compton, the same thing. We're really, excuse my frustration, but my priority is our kids' safety. I wouldn't want my children to get hurt in them, and I'm sure none of my colleagues would want the same thing, or none of the residents. So we need to make sure that we make our parks safe for our kids, especially at night. And a lot of kids, they go to the park by themselves without their parents. The older kids, the 10-year-olds, the 11-year-olds, the 12-year-olds that live right next door, they walk to the park to go swing on the swings. They walk to the park to slide down the slide, to shoot a basketball, to play in the jungle gym, and their safety is at risk. And I think that we either need to put a deputy there, a code enforcement there, and we need to move them out of the parks. I don't know if that's an option or not, but I think that we should bring an item back for council consideration to do that. I mean, we just voted to pay $300,000 for crossing guards, which I know is needed, but we need to do something about this homeless problem to make sure that our kids are safe.
Thank you, Councilman Galvan.
I still got more comments.
Okay.
Yeah. I also want to commend my colleague, Councilwoman, I know she's probably going to mention in her comments, but Councilwoman McCoy on her backpack event that she had. I heard it was a great success, and it's good to, it's good to give back to the community, so I want to commend you on your event. Let's see. Back to the illegal marijuana shops. Have there been any more shut down while we were on break? I know that there was one shut down in my district on Long Beach, right, Cecil?
During the month of August, there were several shut down. On Alondra, there was one over here at 333 Compton Boulevard. There was another one on Rosecrans near Pan S that was shut down. It's an extremely frustrating situation, as you mentioned. When people ask, why do these facilities keep opening, it's not because we're allowing them to open, it's because they're illegally operating.
They're what?
They're illegally operating. Yeah. We've sent letters to the landlords to let them know that if they do rent, that there are penalties. The city attorney's provided those. We've sent those to every business that has had a dispensary in it, or we know will potentially reopen a dispensary. We've worked with the district attorney. The district attorney came out with the sheriff's department and our code enforcement folks to at least one of the warrants served, the one on Alondra. So we're still moving forward on those, but it's very hard to keep up. But again, just about every week we're doing something either at a dispensary or preparing to take down a dispensary.
All right, thank you. And again, I want to make it clear to everybody, I'm 100% in favor of shutting down every single marijuana dispensary that we have in the city of Compton. So I hope that we continue to shut them down, and I hope that we recoup some of the funds by going after the property owners and suing them for sheriff costs, city attorney costs, etc. So I hope that we take that route as well and actually get some money from it. Let me see. Oh, I want to send my prayers and condolences to the victims of the Hurricane Harvey. As you've seen, that was a big natural disaster that took place over there. So our thoughts and prayers are going out to them, and also to prayers to the Miami as well. They're bracing for a hurricane, as one of the speakers spoke earlier today about it. And I'm thinking of organizing an event to try to raise some funds to send some support to both of them. I'll keep you guys updated on that next week. And also I had a question. I don't know if it's for the Parks and Recs, but is there any update on the Christmas parade? Because I know a lot of times we say we're going to plan ahead and stuff, and then in the last minute we kind of run trying to figure it out. So I don't know if I remember there was supposed to be a committee that was set up, and they were supposed to meet. Is there any update on that?
Yes, there is a committee that is formed. We have invited members of several commissions to participate in the committee. We're hoping to also do some sprucing up of Compton Boulevard between Alameda and Long Beach Boulevard, which is the parade route for the parade. That was something that the mayor and the council requested, and the mayor reminded us that it was requested in the past. So we met with Public Works, and they're going to work on doing a beautification of that section of Compton for the parade. We sent out letters requesting donations, but that was done in error because we did set aside a budget for that this year. I know in the past we've solicited funds from the businesses, but all we do require from the businesses is if they want to participate and be in the parade or something like that, or have a banner, they can do that. And I'll be sending correspondence out to them retracting the initial request.
Also wanted to mention that it's soccer season now at our parks in Compton. As you guys know, the council a couple years ago voted to make sports free for every single one of our Compton kids. So if you have any young children, I believe the ages are 5 to 14? 5 to 14, take them to any of the local parks, sign them up for soccer. Right now, there are scrimmages going on right now. I believe the season's going to start in the next week or two, so it's not too late to get your child out there playing and participating with our organized sports. I also wanted to make a request for next week's council meeting, Mr. City Manager. If you can bring back a report or some kind of plan, because as you know today, the new president canceled DACA, which would affect a lot of our immigrant residents in Compton. And I don't know if we're going to have any kind of safety measures to make sure that, our families and our residents don't get kicked out and sent back to wherever they came from, whatever country they came from. So maybe we can bring a report from the sheriffs or something of, to put some of our residents at ease.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. And then the last thing is, as you guys know, next week is Mexican Independence Day. So I'm going to host a Mexican Independence Day themed luncheon for our seniors. I haven't told nobody yet, but I just decided to do it today. So it's going to be next Wednesday at 12 noon at the Dollar Heights Center. All my colleagues are welcome to join and participate, and I hope to see all the seniors there. We're going to provide you guys a free lunch and some entertainment and stuff, and we always have a good time when we get together, so I hope to see you guys all there. Thank you guys again for coming today and for participating in the meeting, and I'm excited to get back to work.
Oh, thank you. Councilwoman Zarita?
Thank you, Mayor Brown. Just a couple of things. I won't be as long as my colleague. Just a couple of suggestions first. Well, first I want to start off by thanking Parks and Rec for my 5th annual Autism Swim Club. It was phenomenal. We had a load of families that came out and have participated throughout their entire event. We have some exceptional lifeguards that are very patient with the kids and have really did on-the-job training. And we're recruiting for lifeguards. We always have a shortage of lifeguards. So hopefully we're going to partner with the fire department explorers and maybe even the sheriff explorers to get the pool open year-round and start training for lifeguards, so we'll have enough lifeguards next summer. And also, some of y'all call August a vacation, but it's really not a vacation. We did a lot of work in District 1. If you haven't been in the creek, take a walk in the creek from 134th? About 134th to El Segundo. It's amazing. You have to see it. We got the trees trimmed on Wilmington and Compton. We got the trees trimmed on Rosecrans. We've done a lot of work over the last 30 days. And we also started some temporary work to Seabury Park, which is about a 10-year-old project that we're hoping to complete this year. I'll be hosting a town hall meeting at Seabury Park on Saturday, September 16th, from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. We're going to talk about the improvement project. We're going to have outdoor restrooms, new playground equipment, new picnic, shade shelters, a walking trail, the baseball diamond, irrigation, landscaping, lighting, exercise equipment. And as Councilman Galvan said, a lot of this equipment was purchased maybe 4 years ago. So it's long overdue. So hopefully this team will get the work done. So if you come out and join me at the town hall meeting, we're going to host it right at Seabury Park so we can get a visual of what's going on. And then also, to kind of piggyback where Galvan left off, Mr. City Manager, I'm going to request an audit on all the money and resources that has been used between the city and the sheriff's department and the courts on the illegal dispensaries. And then also, I want you to look into, Mr. City Manager, most cities have used a grant to get the connection for recycled water, and Central Basin offers the grant. They'll help you with the grant. So we should think about getting the hookup so we can have recycled water for cemeteries, medians, and some of the water can even be used for the park. And while I talk about water right now, I do sit on MWD board as a representative of the city of Compton, and the vote is probably going to be postponed. But I'm going to really request that we agendize having the general manager from Metropolitan Water to come out and do a short presentation to actually give the facts to the citizens on the fees and the project, and just give the facts on the whole thing. And let me see. And then I want a clarification on, and you can give it to me in an email, Mr. City Manager, clarification on the insurance that was talked about related to the senior citizens, because the way I understood it, it was that just the instructor, not every citizen, every senior has to pay the insurance. So if you can give me a copy of that, because that's just how, you know, the rumors get started, and it gets all out of control. And my big event is coming up. Looking forward to it. The 6th annual Walk for a Cure, hosted by myself and my favorite sister, Compton Unified School Board President, Satra Zarita. It'll be at Saturday, October 14th, 2017. Registration begins at 7 a.m. The walk begins at 8:30 a.m. The location is the same location, Greenleaf Parkway. That's at the corner of Wilmington and Greenleaf. There'll be free parking at Walton Middle School, and the parking is going to be situated like it was last year. Since the schools have a new field, we use Greenleaf all the way out to Central for the parking. So if you pull up and you think Greenleaf is blocked off and you can't turn, you can turn, and we'll have plenty of parking for everyone, and we'll actually have a little shuttle. So those of you that have participated in the last 5, you know to get there early. There's a line. Last year we had over 1,200 people to register. So if you have anybody you want to come out and walk for to support, or just come out and enjoy the event, I invite you out. I invite anyone that would like to volunteer on that Saturday morning to call my office and get set up. We always have continental breakfast and a t-shirt, and once again, everything is free, and I look forward to seeing you all out at this event. That's October 14th at 7 a.m. And with that being said, oh, one last thing. I partnered with a few city businesses here in the city of Compton, and we set up a website to support the families in Texas. It's called Compton Cares, CARES.org. And one of the companies here in Compton that manufactures T-shirts decided to donate the T-shirts. So the T-shirts are for $20, and 100% of the proceeds will be donated to Red Cross for the families in Texas. So if any of you want to donate, want to help a family, go to the website, check it out. That's ComptonCares.org. And I think that's it. And see y'all next week. Thank you.
Councilwoman McCoy.
Thank you, Mayor. A few things. First, I want to thank all of the sponsors of my backpack giveaway that was early August. The Lion's Den, Miracle Market, Tony's Liquor, and Unity Christian Fellowship, my church, and the Game Truck. Those all provided funds, and Lion's Den provided haircuts for the youth. It was a great day. I want to thank my family. They came out and they showed up in full force, as well as my Unity Christian Fellowship family, and they helped us out and everything went well. My 10 grandchildren were definitely an asset because they were serving popcorn and hot dogs and all that, so the event went well. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Then I attended the Miss Compton pageant. I had a baseball banquet in the 3rd District. I was one of the sponsors for the trophies. I was a co-sponsor with the WIC Backpack Giveaway Health Fair that was over across the street in the town center. I want to give a big shout out to Lloyd Hooper, who put together a Compton Hall of Fame induction for the alumni of Compton High School. The event was fantastic. I thank you for putting this together. It was my pleasure to be there and be a part of the event. I reactivated the Compton Creek Task Force, so that's how those areas in Councilwoman Zarita's district got cleaned up. The Creek Task Force got together and we did 2 areas in her district. We're going to meet tomorrow, and we'll talk about the next 2 areas that we'll be cleaning up. So the Creek Task Force is really coming together, and we're really doing our thing. Thanks Parks and Rec staff, Public Works staff, water staff, all those that just came out to assist with the cleanup. And I also attended Chevron Extra Mile grand opening. So as they say, they're saying we're dark for August, but all we do is continue to do what we do and attend events. So by no way were we dark. We were just not in City Hall at City Hall meetings. And so I have an upcoming event. I am co-sponsored with the City to Village. It's a grassroots nonprofit organization, and their goal is to provide 500 feminine gift tote bags to women of Nigeria. And so the list of the items is listed on the city's website. If anybody wants to make a contribution, we're going to put a bin in City Hall, and it's just basic items like soap, toothpaste, things like that. And they're going to, a young lady from Compton is actually going to take them back to Nigeria at the end of September. And it's a great organization. She is out and about, and she just talks about how the women are, so excited to get just the basics that don't have access to here when they're there. So that's, if you want to contribute, the bin will be in City Hall, or you can contact my office. And let's see, Mr. Hollyfield, the traffic light item will be on the agenda next week. I told you I hadn't given up. Mr. City Manager is just working it through the process, and it should be on the agenda next week. So that is moving forward with the traffic signal on Greenleaf in Wilmington. And also, while I was out, I attended a few services, and I would like to adjourn in memory of the ones that I actually did provide certificates for, which is Sandra Taylor, Barbara Ann Brown, Simon Goss, Iberia Burris, and Jim Miles. And I'll give you the list so you won't have to, yes. And I just wanted, the last thing is I want to give a happy birthday to my son. Today would have been his 39th birthday, and so I know he's smiling down on me from heaven, but This is his 39th birthday. God bless everyone. Thank you for coming out.
Councilwoman Sharif?
Thank you, Mayor Brown. Before I get to my council comments, I have some requests I need to bring forth to the city manager. And the reason I'm making these statements, Mr. City Manager, is because we have requested this information to be done, we requested this cleanup to be done starting July 5th. That's at 546 West Compton Boulevard. The illegal dumping in the alley is still there. It was reported July 5th, also reported August the 30th. Now, on Alondra Boulevard in Santa Fe, I know the Public Works do not do the weed abatement for private businesses. However, I've been trying to get them to get in contact with the business since July 5th. It was reported July 5th and also August the 30th. The weed abatement, also another private lot on Compton Boulevard in Barron. That was requested June 12th, July 5th, and August the 30th. So hopefully that we will make contact with the owners so that we can start trying to get them out to see about them cleaning up those lots, because one of the lots, a gentleman came in today right before city council meeting and brought it to my attention again in regards to the lot right there on Santa Fe and Alondra. So the community is calling about it, so hopefully we can start trying to move that forward. It's making contact with the owners so that we can try to get that done. 2018-19 civil grand jury is now open for recruitment. Are you looking for an opportunity to make a difference in your community? Are you willing to volunteer 30 to 40 hours per week and earn $60 for each full day of service? If so, the Los Angeles County Superior Court is currently seeking qualified citizens who are interested in applying for the Los Angeles County Civil Grand Jury. The applicant must possess each of the following qualifications: must be a citizen of the United States, at least 18 years of age, a resident of Los Angeles County for at least 1 year, possess ordinary intelligence, sound judgment, and fair character. So if that's you, please show up. Working knowledge of the English language. Primary functions of the civil grand jury: investigates county, city, and joint power agencies, acts as a watchdog by examining carefully and completely the operations of varied government agencies within the Los Angeles County. Deadline to submit an application is November the 3rd, 2017. For an application packet, please call the Los Angeles County Civil Grand Jury. That phone number is 213-893-1047. The forms are also online. You can go online and www.grandjury.com.la.ca.us. So if any of you are interested in participating in the grand jury, please get in contact with the Los Angeles County Superior Court. I will be hosting my second annual backpack giveaway in conjunction with the Sheriff YAL on Saturday, September the 9th at Kelly Park, 2319 East Caldwell Street from 11 to 2. There will be lots of fun activities for the children to enjoy, as well as free haircuts, shoes, and dental hygiene checkups will also be given. So that will be this coming Saturday, 11 o'clock. And District 4 Town Hall meeting, our next Town Hall meeting will be held on Wednesday, September the 13th at 6 p.m. at Kelly Park, 2319 East Caldwell Street, Compton, California. The City Attorney, Craig Cornwell, will provide a marijuana educational and awareness workshop presentation. This is an interactive meeting where you will have the opportunity to ask questions, voice opinions, and submit concerns regarding public safety and quality of life issues. Remember, your voice matters to us. So please come out on September 13th and be a part of this town hall meeting. And we also, I got this information, National Suicide Prevention Week. And in honor of National Suicide Prevention Week, they have a call-a-thon. It starts September the 16th, and the hotline opens from noon to midnight, and this is for teenagers. A lot of times teenagers have a tendency to maybe be more open with their own peers as opposed to being open to and being willing to share information with our adults. And so this is going to be a hotline for teen. It's a teen line. And the phone number is 800-852-8336. 800-852-8336. Teen Lines offers a confidential teen-to-teen hotline available to teens worldwide to talk to another teen about your problem or struggle, whether big or small. So please give them a call if you have some information that you would like to share. And I did attend the Miss Compton pageant, and as I stated before, she did a wonderful job. She and her husband, they're a great team. They work well together as far as trying to get out here and try to get this done. And they, like I said, they went off to college. They're now back here. They're helping out all of the young people in this community, so it's great to have them here. And I did attend the Compton Hall of Fame with Councilwoman McCoy, and it was great to see them, how it was done. But I do hope that next time when this is presented, that they have an opportunity to have it here in Compton, because they had to go all the way to San Pedro to have this event. And I think they're homegrown. They born and raised in this city. They went to high school here, and I think it'd be just great if Compton would open up their door and invite them back in and allow them to have the event here in the city. I also attended the Chevron Extra Mile grand opening, which is really nice, right there in District 1. So it was nice to see how well they have redone that a whole corner there, and it's just really bring a whole new atmosphere there. So I want to thank them for being here in the city of Compton. Then I would like to say, see you guys all next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Sharif. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say thank you to Rodney Andrews, who brought me this certificate from Congresswoman Nanette Diaz-Barragan for my contribution to the events. He's always doing something special, and I always try to make sure I support all the endeavors. So thank you, Congresswoman Barragan.
Thank you. I'll be really brief. We have, for upcoming Save the Date, we have our Compton Open Mic Night this Thursday, September 7th, from 7 o'clock p.m. to 10 o'clock p.m., free and open to the community. We also have the upcoming back-to-school event for the Rhodes Foundation. It's their first annual back-to-school health and wellness fair, Saturday the 9th from 9 to 2 p.m. And Rhodes Community Care Clinic is located on 121 South Long Beach Boulevard. In the city of Compton, they are a state-of-the-art health care facility. They have everything from primary care. They also now have pediatrician care. They also have health and behavioral services there on site as well, and they also do dentistry. So great organization. Please check them out. And then also want to, as we celebrated Labor Day yesterday, post-Labor Day, big thank you to all of our workers and all of the labor unions that represent them, all of our service workers, servicemen and women, and then also in advance we have 9/11 is coming up, and want to just acknowledge all the men and women that have served our country and that are actively serving our country in law enforcement and safety. There will be an opportunity to acknowledge our servicemen and women, and we'll share more about that as well in just a moment. And also, yesterday I had a chance to visit, to attend the 5th annual Urban Lady annual Jazz Festival event here in the city of Compton, and it was a great event. Big thank you to Miss Inez for opening up her home to the Compton residents in our community. And under constituent concerns, just a request and to find out where we are, or where Tejada is, near Rosecrans in the 1st District for repavement. That street is like you're in a third world country and really needs some service and care. And I know that we're fixing other streets, and I just want to know where we are with that particular street. And I know that there are many other streets, but that street is literally almost like a dirt street. Do you have an update?
I don't have an update on that street in particular. No, I was going to update you guys today and let you know that we had a sinkhole issue off Rosecrans and Bullis that required the entire team to go out and literally dig down into the pavement because it was starting to sink, and we had to put a metal plate over that. But I went over there and got pictures of the guys working. So I can get a report from the street superintendent on Tejada. I did send out a list of streets that we're looking at prioritizing by district, just to start out with that contract that we just did with Alameda Construction. So we'll put the Tejada Street on that list.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Also, I know that we're going to have an update from the Christmas Parade Committee. Is that scheduled for next week, or would it be the week after?
I think it's next week, and Marvin Hunt will send out a update to everyone on that particular meeting.
Awesome. And then also, if we could just send in our water bills, if we can just send a update on our rates. I know that I've heard from other residents as well. I know we have different water companies that service Compton, so those that are under MWD, obviously they're looking at a rate increase, but those that have Compton Water do not. So if we can just make sure that we make a notification to clarify in our water bills. Also, lastly, there was the issue that was referenced earlier about the seniors having to pay a dollar high. Just for clarification, the seniors are not having to pay to a $10 hide. There was a fee for insurance for the instructors, which we are now rectifying, and so I do want to thank the residents for bringing that to our attention. This was the first time I've heard about it, but we are going to rectify that issue. But I do want to make that public that we are not charging seniors to a $10 hide. It is totally free for them, and I just wanted to clarify that after some of the discussion that was discussed tonight. And save that for next week. Lastly, I don't know how many, most people are following what's happening nationally, but President Trump made a decision today to rescind DACA, which provides residents and their children with the opportunity to access various benefits. Insurance-wise, they can actually access financial aid to go to school, various other concessions if people need to work, if they need a permit or a visa. And so there are some critical deadlines that are coming up, and I just want to urge everyone to continue to follow what's going on, and then we will be posting an informational sheet. I know our Congresswoman is doing an info sheet of what that means, and we'll make sure that we post that on the city's website, continue to share. But I know that there are some opportunities to extend existing provisions by October 3rd, so that's one critical deadline, but we'll continue to provide information to the community and continue to contact your representative and let them know that you are wanting them to move forward in the way that you would want them to move forward, and then also continue to watch as Congress is trying to gear up to make a decision about the DREAM Act, which is, of course, for our immigrants and their children to be able to access education in the United States. So just keeping you all up to date on that, and we will, as the information sheet is made available to the city, we'll share that and continue to post it and keep everyone abreast of what's going on. Any other announcements? No? Yes, thank you, ma'am. No, I'll take yours. Thank you. And we will now adjourn in the memory of Sandra Taylor, Jim Miles, Barbara Ann Brown, Simon Goss, Ibera Burries, and is that correct? Okay, thank you. Oh, excuse me, we have a motion to recess.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilperson Zarita. Yes. McCoy. Yes. Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem McCoy.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, we just had a discussion in closed session. City Council was present except Mayor Brown. We voted unanimously to execute a tolling agreement with Republic Services. And that concludes our report out from closed session. We are now at adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion to adjourn.
I did.
She said that.
And who second?
She did.
Sharif.
Wake up, Scout.
I'll tell you off record. Roll call. Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem McCoy.
Yes. Good night. See you next week.